One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads, feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They're telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them take some chains off me and throw away the locks and keys. If they would just let me be, eventually I'm gonna be free.
Bill Gates says digital IDs will be mandatory to participate in society. We students of Bible prophecy know that's coming. However, they're talking about it and it's coming. It's behind the scenes, like we pull back the curtain from the war and voila, here's Bill Gates and digital IDs pressing forward.
Right. So during the Charlie Vector 019er days, since we're on YouTube, I'll use the code language. Gates Foundation, they have a digital ID, and I can't remember the name of the thing that they call it, but they're trying to get a digital ID for everybody in the world. I think that what people need to realize, though, that with respect to us in the West, we probably already have a digital ID.
We're not playing around over here, are we? Yes, sir.
What up, Mike Boss?
What up, though?
Man, it's been a week. I tell you, bro. It's been a week.
I feel
that. Man. So tonight we got a story for you. Not really a story. It's something you really need to pay attention to. But
you're not joking.
Man, so before we jump into that, how was your weekend, brother? How was your 7 days? Because
Man.
last week you wasn't with us, so 14
That's
days.
right. It's been
What with
14
you last
days for me. Yeah, no, it's been very hectic. And obviously since we last was on the show together, my parents have moved to Alabama. They're finally over there in their new home. They just got into the new house yesterday, I believe. So yeah, it's been just kind of hectic trying to help them get them, ready and packed up. And there was a lot of work to do. Obviously, it's like 30 years of stuff that they've had. So ship it across country, it's not very easy.
Right. Man,
But how about you? What's going on in your neck of the woods?
man, what ain't?
Right, right, that
Um,
part.
man, I've been busy. I've been busy. I mean, between work and um, trying to finish this movie thing up, so that way.
That's right. I was going to
uh,
ask you about that, how the
Yeah,
movie's
that's
coming
gonna.
along.
Well, right now it's practically done. There's a couple little B real stuff that they're doing, but it's supposed to be out in July.
Okay, well, I mean, I saw some of your parts, that was recorded from like a phone from someone else, and it's so cool to watch, like you sit there and you're running into the rooms and with a gun and everything. I love watching it. I can't wait to actually watch the finished product.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good film, man. Of course, everybody know me and Big Bone 1% are both in this movie, but we're also technical advisors in this movie as well. So,
Right.
um, they
Is that
wanted
how it started? Like you guys were technical advisors first, and then they're like, you know what? Just you guys know exactly what we need. Just get in the freaking movie.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. To tell you the truth.
Yeah. Hey, I called it.
Um, like I said, I'm glad they did. You know what I mean? Because I've been having a ball with this, and so once this one is done, like I said, I got scripts for two more. One is a short film, and then another movie after then. You know what I mean? So
Look at
uh,
you. Look how that all started. And now all of a sudden now you're like really like a movie star. That's crazy. It's awesome.
wish I had the movie star bread though, but
Hey, that comes in time. That's a
Right,
byproduct. That's a
right.
byproduct.
In time it come. Let's just speak it into existence right now. And then
That's right. That's right. Facts.
And hopefully I get it before this stuff kick in.
Right.
Oh, this,
Right. This whole
man,
bit right here, this digital ID shit, it's actually scaring the hell out of me.
yeah, this is
And I don't know
Oh.
very much about it, honestly. I mean, I watched a couple of videos before the live tonight, so I'm really interested in it.
yeah. So what we got is I picked this up last week, and I knew bits and pieces of it, but I didn't have a full understanding as to exactly what all was taking place with this.
Mm,
And that's the reason why I titled it the way I did, because this stuff right here really stems back to um, like Revelations when we're talking about the mark of the beast and all that other stuff. So
mm-hmm.
it was it once you started looking at all this different stuff that they're doing. I mean, mind you, it's more technical than what they're. But
Sure.
a couple of weeks ago, when we was talking about the middle part, when we was talking about the piece that went along with the TikTok bill and how that was gonna end up
With the Restrict Act.
right. That was going to take
Right.
away a lot of your privacy.
Mhm.
But this here, not only does it take away your privacy on that end, but they're doing this whole digital ID thing to where they know everything. Everything about you from medical records. I mean,
Oh no, I'm not.
it's going to be.
I didn't sign
stored.
up for that shit.
Yeah, but it's like a whole thing behind it though, because it goes deeper with that. It's not just
It always does.
it's not just your fingerprint. It's not just you doing your little eye scan like you do in the airport, you know, they got that clear. You can go through. You scan your eye. And they say, okay, you can go through security a whole lot quicker. All that stuff. Those were actually tests, clear, and the digital passport. Those were both tests just to see how quickly and how well people would adapt to it.
Mm.
So
It's like a total social experiment.
basically, yeah. Now,
Wow.
here's the thing though. It's not just going on in the US. This is worldwide. Now, take Australia for instance.
shit.
Australia is already doing it. They're already on the whole digital ID.
I'm surprised I didn't hear anything about it. Is
Yeah.
is it one of those things that they're implementing and rolling into effect, but not really talking about it? Obviously, you know what I mean?
Well, what they're doing is like, you know, of course, here when you're dealing with mainstream media and stuff like that, you know, they're gonna pick and choose what they want to talk about.
Facts.
You know,
Facts.
so right now they're not talking about that. They're busy worried about Trump and the Supreme Court and him in New York and you
the
know,
distractions.
all this. Right. Everything's smoke and mirrors right now.
Mhm.
You know, just like how they was talking about the protests and all that stuff at Columbia University.
Yes.
But then come to find out that these people that were protesting there didn't even go to Columbia University. There were
Right.
people
Yep.
that were being paid to come there and do that.
I'm not surprised by any of that right there.
So, right. So a lot of this stuff that we seeing that they're doing these reports on is smoke and mirrors. It's not really what's going on right now. You know, so let me before we dive into this, let me hit you with this first video to kind of give everybody kind of a general synopsis as to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna dig into it.
Imagine a world where you can't buy anything without permission, where every daily choice you make is monitored and logged into a database controlled by the leaders of your nation. A world where you could be forced to buy the things your government wants or blocked from purchasing the things it doesn't. A world where your money may no longer be a tool of personal freedom, and instead one that could be used to control your every decision, action, and move. Well, that world may be closer than you think. In fact, in many ways, it's already here. What if the government didn't just have access to your transactions over a certain limit, and they had access to everything all the time? Well, this is where CBDCs come in. A central bank digital currency is a new form of digital money. It's like cryptocurrency, but whereas crypto is decentralized and private, CBDCs are exactly the opposite. A CBDC would be completely owned and controlled by your government. They would hold your wallet, your money, and have access to all your financial data, including information on every transaction in your daily life. It would also make banks obsolete, as your account and wallet could be held by a government. Only a couple of years ago, CBDCs were considered hypothetical, but that is no longer the case.
Question: do you know what CBDC means?
CBDC?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, CBDC is the central bank digital currency.
Okay, so that's what they were using as an acronym. Got you. Okay. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, so all of this stuff is all tied into one thing, and that is a paperless digital currency. It's basically what they're doing, but they're making everything digital.
Right. It's not just money or currency.
Right. They're making everything digital, and then what they're also doing is that they're taking everyone's information, their biometrics, and like I said, it goes further than that. It goes all the way to the point that they don't just take your fingerprints. They do what is it? Blood, palm print, fingerprint, blood pressure.
What?
Yeah, everything.
Blood pressure.
Yeah, everything. They going all out with this. You know what I mean? They want to know every single thing about you. And it's all going to be stored in this database. Okay. Now, here's the part about the database that makes all this crazy, because this database is going to be AI ran. Okay.
Which doesn't surprise me.
Right. So have you ever heard of the term predicted analytics.
Predicted analytics, like they're
Mhm.
like predicting, the future of their analytics of whatever they're looking at.
Well, yeah. So they used to use it when they first started using it. They used it for businesses. You know what I mean? To kind of predict how
Uh-huh. Now I
how it was
understand.
going to grow within a period of time.
Sure.
They also used it with crypto, where you go on there and you can check it and it'll tell you
The
what they
predictions.
project it to be a month from now, 8 months from now, a year from now, and so on. Okay, so that's called predicted analytics. Now, what they're going to do is make this where it can analyze each and every person to basically predict what that person is going to do. Like, okay, so let's say for instance, it puts in all your information, and let's say that you are a criminal. Okay, let's say that you've done something 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Sure.
Okay, so according to the analytics, how they're running through, it could say this person is not a good person because he's 85% prone to doing another criminal activity.
Oh, wow. Now I see what you're getting at. This could be very, very
Right.
dangerous.
And they can take those analytics and be able to go back and actually arrest people based on not the fact that you've done it, but the fact that you could do it.
Yeah, that you have more of a probability to do it
Right.
based off of that data.
Right. So
Mm.
it's like so it's like, okay, like you may not have done it. Remember back when you was a kid and you may have got your butt whooped for something that you didn't do, and your mama say, well, okay, well, that just makes up for the one time that I didn't get you.
Totally.
That's what
Totally.
this is.
Oh my God.
This is. Now, along with this CBDC, with this central banking digital currency, each one of them is going to be particularly ran by their own governments. Okay, so each government is going to be able to completely run this. So they're going to completely control everything that you using your money for, and they can tell you whether you spending too much, or say you went to the store and you were buying, buying groceries, and let's say you bought 4 packs of meat, right? So when you go, it'll tell you when you go to check out, you bought too much meat. Put one back.
And I can also see how this could be dangerous for, with this amount of information, I'm sure that they have your income, they have like everything about you. So if you do spend too much or do too much or get too much resources, whatever, I can totally see this going totally downhill on this. Wow.
Well, right now they have it to where now, like all banks, if you put in more than $10,000, then it automatically gets reported to the IRS that you
Yes.
put in that large sum, because they want you to pay some kind of tax on it, or they want to know the reason why you put in that much money.
Yeah.
Okay, so with this particular thing, it knows all your transactions. It knows whether you spent 25 cents. It knows
Oh my
everything.
God.
So it's set up to where they can tell you what you can and cannot spend your money on. Okay, it basically takes over everything dealing with you. You know what I mean? You really have no say whatsoever.
Look at what Steve says right here. Like, this is something that you just said in the beginning of the show. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Australia already has a lot of this going on. I had no idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot of this. It's going on everywhere. And it's a couple different things that they're going to be doing along with that. But everything, like you said, just get this part. Every choice that you make is going to be monitored. Okay. And it's going to let you know whether you can do it or you can't do it, whatever. There is no question. You can't say, well, oh, this is my money, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Right.
No, sir. You will not. You're gonna do exactly that.
You will have nothing and love it or whatever I forget what it is. But
Right.
yeah, you're gonna enjoy in having nothing. at this point. This is crazy. So they're going to track essentially everything about you. And then, like, what are they going to have a chart about, when I go take a shit? Like, holy crap, dude. Seriously. This is some scary stuff.
Man, I'm telling you, once I got to digging into this, there's more and more to it.
Mhm.
So now, right now, you have some congressional leaders. Not everybody's cool with this, because you have some congressional leaders that's actually putting up a fight on this. Was like, nah, we ain't trying to do that.
Right.
I
would hope there would be some pushback by these people, but
right. So there are some that's actually saying no.
But that's definitely not going to be enough.
Exactly. Matter of fact, I got a little small snippet of one of these congressional leaders actually talking about this particular thing here, saying that they didn't want no parts of it.
Good.
Last week, I introduced the Central Bank Digital Currency Anti-Surveillance State Act to halt the efforts of unelected bureaucrats here in Washington, D.C. from stripping Americans of their right to financial privacy. Digital assets in the digital economy are the future, but the Federal Reserve should play no role in developing a central bank digital currency, or otherwise known as a CBDC. The consequences, if we get it wrong, are far too serious. The Biden administration is currently itching to create a digital authoritarian-styled surveillance-style digital dollar. And through an executive order, they are pursuing analysis on a retail CBDC that would not be open, permissionless, or private.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad there's some pushback, but stuff like that, is that enough pushback,
Right.
We need more than one guy. We need more than just 100 people on board,
I mean, you think when we were sitting here talking about that Restrict Act 686,
right? And that whole now this goes hand in hand with the Restrict Act, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This is the add-on to this. You know what I mean? So, remember we was talking about the Patriot Act, and I said back in 2020, a lot of the Patriot Act expired. This is the add-on.
Right.
So with 686 added on so much, dealing with the fact that they can go and check everything dealing with you. They can go over your cameras. They can go to your doorbell ringer. They can go through your phone. They can go through your TV. They can go through anything that has audio and video. They can even go through your Wi-Fi. Anything that they can do audio and video, they can go in without a court order. They don't need your permission.
Oh my God.
And they can listen and watch everything that you do. And if you do something or you say something that they're able to see, then you can then be charged for it. So this is a lot of things that went along with that 686. It also has no actual definition as to what they consider someone as being a threat, or a domestic terrorist, or an actual, or actual terrorist, overseas, whatever. They can do it at will. So
just
let's
whenever.
say, right. So they can deem you as a domestic terrorist and not have no proof of anything that you've done, just by simply what they hearing you say, or the type of affiliation that you have. So like a lot
it's kind of like people that get on, the gang list or whatever. And let's say, they're a part of a motorcycle club, they get pulled over, get ticketed for something. And then next thing you know, they're on a gang list, and they didn't even know that they even got put on a gang list until later.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Now, back about 7 years ago, they had me on the watch list. And I didn't even know it.
See?
I didn't even know it. Somebody had told me when I was going for a job, and they called me and they asked me, "What is this?" I'm looking at it. I'm like, hell, I don't know. But they had you listed as a domestic terrorist. I mean, later on they took it off, but you had it on there and you had no idea. that it's even on there. Now, if you went to go, say I was going to the airport to go catch a flight or something, and they ran my ID, boom, it
Oh,
would
I
have
didn't
popped
even
up
think
on there.
about that. Yeah.
Right. It would have popped up on there. Luckily, I wasn't going nowhere. You know what I mean? So you putting that tag on me was practice because I
Right.
wasn't doing nothing.
Right.
You know?
Yep. But still,
But
that's a terrible thing to happen to anybody.
oh yeah. But like I said, it's bad. I mean, I've even seen a video where they had this digital ID over in Africa, and they were using it. They had to use it to get water. So they give them like this little. Wasn't doing an actual iris scan, but they gave them this little card. And you went to it, and you had to scan the card, your particular card, in order for the water to come out the pipes.
Oh shit! Wow.
It's
So
crazy.
now they're monitoring how much you're taking of resources, how much you're using,
Oh,
utilizing.
oh yeah. They're gonna monitor everything. Everything is gonna get monitored. You know what I mean? There is.
And with AI now too, the amount of data they can track now is unreal. I mean, you used to have personnel actually write down on some like Excel spreadsheet all this data, but now AI just does it for them, huh?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Okay, so think about this. Why do you think you see these different commercials, and you have all these commercials where they're talking about how convenient this is, and how you don't have to worry about having to pull out your credit card, or you don't have to worry about having to run to the bank and do this. You know what I mean? Because once this starts, the banks are done. Central banks is over. You know what I mean? So once this takes place, your regular bank is closed down. There is no more bank.
Right. There's no need.
Right. There is no more bank at that point. So if you do, have a lot of money and funds and stuff like that, then you got to figure out other ways to do with it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so you're gonna have to transfer it over like gold, silver, and stuff like that. You know what
I was about to
Because-
say, like, what do you do at that point to keep your money but not have it tracked?
right.
That's
Well,
crazy.
Thing is, well, probably the only thing that you could do would be to buy stuff like gold and silver and stuff like that you
Yep.
can actually keep in person. You know what I
Yep.
mean? That you don't have to actually take anywhere.
But anything else, you're going to be tracked to the T.
Right. They're gonna track every dollar, every cent. And then of course, how much you're gonna pay on your tax and all that, because they know exactly what it is.
But even if you did buy stuff like that, it'll show that you bought gold or silver or diamonds, or you bought something. You know what I mean? So even that's still going to be tracked, and the government's going to know what you got.
Well, I figured probably when all that takes place anyway, they're gonna probably put a cap on what all you're gonna be able to buy and can't.
Totally.
I mean,
Yep.
because right now it's free will. You can go and buy and purchase whatever you want. But when that takes place, there is no free will. Okay. Now, over in California, where you at, matter of fact, over in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Now they have stores there right now that you can go and pay with the palm of your hand.
What?
Yeah. Let me show you.
Oh man.
I got my fruit, I got my yogurts, minty, and now it's time to pay. Well, because we're in Silicon Valley, I'm not going to pay with my credit card. I'm going to pay with my palm. The thing is, there's this new technology that lets you connect your credit card and your ID to your palm so that you don't have to carry any credit cards with you anymore. You don't even have to have your phone with you. This is my total. This is my palm. This is me scanning it. And I would later be able to see my purchases in my Amazon account. Do you think it's convenient or just another way to travel everywhere?
So I'm trying to figure out why she was like so proud to do that though. She was like, ta-da! You know what I mean? Like for me, I'm like, hell no. That's some scary shit.
Well, you do that too if they paying you to do it.
Totally. I guess you're right about that.
Once they put a couple dollars in your pocket, but like I say, you see a lot of these commercials, and that's what they're talking about. They're talking about how convenient it is. They've even had you have several states that has already have it set up to where you can put your driver's license. You can do this digital ID for your driver's license, and you never have to pull your driver's license out again.
Right. Right.
Matter of fact, California, once again, one of them.
California's going to be leading for pretty much all of this shit. I guarantee you.
California involved in everything.
Yeah, it sure is.
But I'm gonna read to you the states that they have so far.
All right.
That these states here have the digital ID where you can, for your driver's license, that you can have it set up to where, like you said, like you never have to pull your license out again.
So you get like pulled over on the side of the road by like a cop or whatever, and they, registration ID kind of thing. You just go boop. You know what I mean? Like, there you go. I've got it right here.
Exactly. So you have, let's see, you have California, Michigan, Iowa, Arizona, Colorado, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Ohio, Hawaii, Utah, and Maryland.
Wow, it's a decent amount already.
Yeah. So if you're in one of those states, you can do that.
Right. It's the beginning of this shit.
Right. But what they wanted to do, though, they're wanting everybody to have this digital ID by 2030.
So that's actually really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only talking 6 years here.
Yeah. So like I said, so right now they're making it where it's optional.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the convenience and you want to,
that's their way of making it where it's not so pushed and forced on you. They're just like, oh yeah, you can join into the program, and then by then, then they force everybody on it. That's insane.
Right. I've seen another one, a video where they had it to where it was a supermarket, but it was a digital ID supermarket, and there was like a gate when you get ready to walk in. And if you had the digital ID, it would open up and you can go in. If not,
I think I saw something like that. I don't remember if it was like an Amazon or if it was like a Walmart or something like that, but I did see something very similar to that tin. Wow.
Now when we was talking about the different points of information that they're trying to get, they've actually been doing this for a while, but you wouldn't know what they were doing because you're an actual citizen of the country. But if you were a migrant or immigrant that came over to the United States, there's a service called the USCIS, which is the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. So they've been requiring biometrics, and they say that they've been doing it for immigration benefits. And they've also been using digital ID for these people that's went through this. So you would have to set up an actual appointment to go and have this stuff done. So it wasn't like when you first came through, they're like, hey, you go over here, we're gonna do these tests and we're gonna let you go. No.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go through, they send you a notification and you go back and you do these tests. So but here's some of the tests, which sounds weird to me. Like, why would the government want to know this? So they want blood tests for your lipid and glucose measurements. They want clinical measurements. They want height, weight, body mass, blood pressure, and waist and hip circumference, along with doing a regular blood screen.
Oh my God.
Fingerprint, iris, and heart rate. So why would they want to know all that about somebody? Because they're putting it all into this system. Okay. Now they've been doing this for a couple of years now. But like I said, you and I wouldn't know that because we're American citizens. We never had to go through this particular service.
Right. I wouldn't know, obviously.
Right. But they've been doing that
over here with these people that they know. Yeah, that's crazy. So they really did the social experiment on them Oh my God.
There you go. So they've been slowly doing it for years now. And like I said, you and I don't even have a clue as to what they were doing.
Right.
You know,
That's some
so
scary shit.
man, I'm telling you, it goes. I think with this, there's like really how far can they reach? Should be the question you should ask.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to
I mean,
do,
like how
though.
far
They're
can they reach?
pushing the
I mean, like
limits.
right. So basically, they gonna run they run their arm up your butt and move your mouth like you're a puppet.
Totally.
Basically, what's about to go down here. You know, now over in China, for instance, now they have digital ID. Now with theirs, not only do they have a digital ID, but they have what they call a social credit score.
Yes. Okay. This is what I kind of heard about, like the percentage, almost kind of like what you were saying about like crimes and stuff like that. But they show more of like a person, a more personnel, like what they have done. Like, yeah, no, dive deep into this.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
okay, so not only are they doing the digital ID and they doing everything that we were just talking about, then they also doing what they call a social credit score. Now, this stuff here is also adapted over to Australia, and it's going over. I mean, like all these other countries that's trying to implement this stuff now. All this stuff is carrying right along with it.
Mm.
So, with the social credit score, it's everything that you do. Period. Okay, if you late paying your bills, deduction on your credit score.
Yep.
If you jaywalk, deduction on your credit score. If you get caught smoking cigarettes in a non-smoking area, deduction on your credit score. So over
Oh my God.
so over in China, they have, you know how here we have like PayPal, we got Cash App, whatever. Okay, so they have a thing that they call WeChat and WePay. Now, if you get any kind of infraction whatsoever, it will identify you because, like I said, it has all your information. There's cameras set up everywhere. So once they see you, pull it up, they can ID you, whatever your infraction was. They'll go into your account, take the money out for the infraction, and then they post your picture. Basically telling these people like, okay, he's a bad person because he did XYZ
Mhm.
for everyone to see. You know, so not only did they find you, but then they humiliate you because they post your picture for everyone to see that you're just a bad person.
Wow.
Yeah. Now,
So now, do they have like a guesstimate of when something like this is going to actually be rolled out to like the masses? Is that kind of like a 2030 ideal as well?
that's, I mean, unless it's stopped, yeah,
Right.
that's one of the things that they're trying to do.
So they're just really weaving this whole Restrict Act crap with this now because it gives them like full reign to do so.
Absolutely,
Oh man.
absolutely. I mean, it basically gives the government unlimited power. They can do whatever they want if this takes place. You know,
Brutal.
so you basically just be going through the motions. You know, with no actual right of your own. You know what I mean? So that takes away the democracy. There is no democracy at that point. Now you have
Right.
was it what is the word? Super long. Was it totalitarianism or fascism?
Right. Yep.
Okay. That's what happens. So the overall democracy is done at this point. There is no oh I got my rights. What rights? Because the way they writing this stuff up in these different bills, they're slowly pulling it. They're slowly taking
I don't
away.
think that we have any rights anymore, though, regarding this whole aspect. Like, I don't think that. I mean, what rights anymore? It's gone. It's all gone.
Right. They're gonna be in everything. But let me show you this little this little video here about this social credit score, where everybody kind of get an understanding as to what goes on here, because this may or may not be something that we're going to be going through here real soon.
Yep.
Here says it is trying to purify society by rewarding those who are trustworthy and punishing those who are not. So like the credit score that most Americans get for how they handle their finances, Chinese citizens are now getting social credit scores based on everything from whether they pay their taxes on time to how they cross the street. When Liu Hu recently tried to book a flight, he was told he was banned from flying because he's on the list of untrustworthy people. Liu is a journalist who was ordered by a court to apologize for a series of tweets he wrote and was then told his apology was insincere. I can't buy property. My child can't go to private school, he says. You feel you're being controlled by the list all the time. And the list is now getting longer, as every Chinese citizen is being assigned a social credit score, a fluctuating rating based on a range of behaviors. It's believed that community service and buying Chinese-made products can raise your score. Fraud, tax evasion, and smoking in non-smoking areas can drop it. If a score gets too low, a person can be banned from buying plane and train tickets, real estate, cars, and even high-speed internet. It's all part of the Chinese government's new social credit system, where people's daily behavior is monitored and rated. Chinese technology firms such as SenseTime are helping the government effort by developing advanced cameras that use artificial intelligence to track just about everything.
Good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
Yeah, that's something that I've heard about China doing. And it was specifically China that I had heard this before, but now it being implemented and rolled out to the rest of, whether it be us or the rest of the countries, that's some scary shit. And yeah, all those cameras are all monitoring you at 24/7. And anytime you do shit, bing, you just hit, your social credit's gone. Crazy.
Right. See, but what happens once your score goes down so far? You can't buy or purchase anything. Nothing.
What the fuck?
So everything is based on, okay, so you better be the righteous, most upstanding citizen there is, because if not, you're gonna get hit.
Right.
So they're gonna hit your pocket for every little infraction that you do. And then they're going to take off the points for that.
This is a really good control aspect. This is how you control people right here.
Absolutely. So you sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm not doing this, Dean."
Yep. Yep. All of a sudden, the red flags are just popping up. You're getting the notifications. Ding, 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 ding. Oh shit, dude! I didn't realize I was smoking right here.
Right. So
I can't smoke right here. I had no idea.
Right. Say 6 cuss words at the same time. You're
totally.
You're done. You ain't even gonna get a bag. You can't get a bag of Skittles. Nothing.
Yeah, when you're trying to scan out with your palm and it's just decline. Right. You can't even get your Skittles, dude.
Now I've been doing pretty good because I'm a sailor. I cuss like one. So if this started, I'm done.
Right.
I'm done.
I'm done day one.
Yeah, I'm done day one.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, because I really gotta think about that. You know what I mean?
Me too. I curse a lot. So.
And if you notice, since we, the whole 44 minutes, you notice I ain't cussed not one time. Not yet.
No, and you're really good at monitoring that. Like for me, even like I'll try not to, and then it still just happens, just naturally. It sucks.
Yeah, but this is the reason why I put on there, is this, a wave of the future or mark of the beast?
Totally.
Because this is what they spoke about in was it Revelation 13:17?
Right.
They cannot buy nor sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of his name. So
No, this is definitely the mark of the beast. If anybody thinks that this is
absolutely,
the wave of the future, like this is some great technology, we're out of
right.
our minds for thinking that.
But see, that's what they putting it out as though.
Totally.
Oh, this
This
is
is such great. It's so convenient. Yeah,
right,
I
right.
understand
You
the
don't have to worry about
sell.
anything. Yeah, everything is convenient. You don't have to worry about a thing. All you got to do is just look through this and it scans your eyes or put your palm print or whatever, and you can move around with no problem.
All right.
But you have to go and
Wow.
do all these tests, and you got to do, you got to sign up for this digital ID. Now, um, so here's the question. Now that you know that this is what's going on,
Hmm.
what do you do about it?
See, that's the whole thing right there. What can you do as a pushback to any of this? What could you do, or do we have to just accept this fate?
Yeah. I mean, so there has to be, now how many times and how many times and how many times have we said this over and over and over again that there's gonna come a point in time that we as a people put down the BS and actually focus on
The problems at
what's
hand.
going on right now.
Yeah.
And if you remember one of the shows that we did, well, a couple shows we did, it's not going to be this whole issue that's going on right now. It's not going to be a black and white thing.
Hmm.
It's not going to be. I mean, that's out the door.
This is
I
all
mean,
cyber warfare now.
right, right. This right here. Now can you imagine them taking all of your information, everyone's information, stored somewhere in some kind of facility or whatever, it has all your information, everything that there is to know about you. With as much stuff as being hacked and cyber attacked these days, just like AT&T, just like they
Right.
trying to do they hit the power grid a couple times.
They did, and
They
well,
knocked
shoot,
out
they always try for the power grid multiple times a day. Really.
they knocked out the 911 services just here recently. So nothing is ironclad. It's not no ironclad security on this stuff. you know. So how many data breaches are you gonna have now? We already have data breaches now with different companies people that hacked into, and you get your
You're
little
right.
notice.
And we're not talking about super like this information that is super personal to people. These are just like, yeah, the power grid's huge to be able to, but at least you're not taking my information. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like all of this is at jeopardy now. Like all of our information it can just be stolen at any time. They're going to come out with all these hacking things to be able to scan your hand while you're walking the street or whatever. Now we've got all your fucking information. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be all sorts of things that they're going to do.
Right. And then they using two different ways to do this. Either one, they putting it out to where this is the next thing since sliced bread to do.
Right.
Or two, they use the fear factor and say, oh, well, if you don't do this, they're going to get your information. This is a national security risk. You don't want the Chinese to know this. You don't want them to know this. This is why we put this bill out to keep them from knowing your information. Okay, you did a bill to keep them from knowing your information.
Yep.
But you slipped something in to where you could get all the information. So which one is it?
Right. Well, I mean,
either way it goes, somebody's gonna take your information.
When is the government ever honest with the American people, though? Ever? Like, I rarely ever see them actually call it like it is. It's always some smoke and mirrors. Hey, this is what we're rolling out to the public, blah, blah, blah. But yet, they it's kind of doing like a lipstick on a pig kind of ordeal, like trying to make it look all good for the public and then try to sell it to us going, oh, look what you can do to, save time and be more, you don't have to reach in your pocket anymore and grab your money. Oh, big deal. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how they really try to sell this to the rest of us.
Right. And they hit you with the fear and the doom and gloom thing, but this,
Yep.
this is more security for you. This is going to make you safer, you know. But, you know, I was thinking about this earlier. You know, Ben Franklin should have been born in this day and age. Because one of the things that he said, and I quote, the more security you ask for, the less freedom you're going to have.
Yep. Well, who's going to
So-
give you that quote unquote security? The government?
Exactly. So
You know
that's
what I
what
mean?
they're saying. So they putting this all in this nice little package and be like, hey, you know, you can do this and this, and this is gonna be super convenient. It's gonna be safe for everyone, and all you have to do is this.
Yep.
You know,
And it's sad
you
that
run
people
and do
buy
it.
into that.
Right. And you run and do it. You know, but just like I said, back when they was back during the we had COVID going on when they did the digital passport, people jumping on it, you know, but they had to do this. They had to go through and do the scan in order for that to happen. And then they put it on, you know what I mean, to where you don't, even if you walked off and, you know, left your passport at home, you
Yep.
covered.
Yep.
You know,
Hey,
now
you're
you put
good.
your driver's license on it, okay, you covered. We got you. You know, so they're gonna put all your information, everything, every single thing about you, all the way down to your lipid panels. They want to know
Right.
what your cholesterol level is.
Yeah, we're
They
gonna
wanna
know
what
your heart
sugar
rate.
level is. Why?
Why do you need to know all of that shit?
Exactly. Why do you need to know that? Why do you need to know what my cholesterol level is? Why
For
do you
real.
need to know how wide my waist is? Why? Because they put all of this stuff goes into this computer.
Hmm.
This is how that computer is able to predict what you're going to do and what you're not going to do.
So every little thing, including your cholesterol, your weight, all of these things that are deciding factors on certain activities or whatever that you're doing so they can predict what you're going to do next.
Right, right. And that's called that right there that you're talking about, that's called a biometric appointment. That's what that's called.
Okay.
So a biometric appointment is a form of analytics that that you put into a program, AI, whatever, and it learns to generate a predictive model on you. And with that predictive model, it does what you call mitigated risk. So it can determine whether this person, is straight now, or you're not going to have any problems with them.
And so that's how they
person
basically
here-
determine.
Right, right. This
Wow.
person here, based on these mitigating factors, could be a problem. This is one that you need to check on, you know, because he goes against the rules.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, that doesn't mean that you out here rape, pillaging, and plundering.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying that you don't agree. You know, so if you don't agree,
Kind of like
then there's a
China. You
problem.
know, if you don't agree with something, they know about it, you know, and you can
Right.
actually get in trouble for that shit.
Right. So, you know, just like when you just watched the video about the journalist in China,
Mm-hmm.
they wanted him to apologize.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
apologized.
For some tweet that he made.
Right. He apologized, and they said, "Nah, that wasn't good enough.
You still not good enough.
Nah, that ain't good
We're
enough."
forcing you to do that, but yet still not good enough.
Right.
Crazy.
Right. So you have somebody sitting over here running all this stuff, running these analytics through this computer, and basically this computer is
It
saying,
just spits out, you know.
"Nah, he didn't mean that. He didn't
That's
mean that at all."
insane.
Right.
Wow. Wow, we're screwed. We're totally screwed here. Like, what do we like exactly like what you're saying? Like, what do you do at this point? Like, how do you push back? But there's nothing you can really do here. We're already we already allowed the Restrict Act to happen now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that probably just sped this whole thing up by 15 years. To be real. It's like a whole excuse now for them to do whatever they want. And based off of just the hatred of TikTok and the hatred of China It's crazy how that worked out. You know what I mean? It all came down to the hatred of China and the hatred of TikTok being that it's Chinese owned. And then they use that as a face to go ahead and now implement the Restrict Act. Now, if the rest of the country knew what the hell they were voting on or what it was about, it could have been prevented. But you know how they do. They just throw that shit in page 30, or in this case, probably page 450, but yeah. And that's the most important thing that they wanted passed. They don't care about no TikTok.
Right. So now when you're sitting there and you see them, they pointing fingers as to the reason why this bill passed. Remember one thing. That bill was a bipartisan bill. That bill was made up by a Republican and a Democrat.
Yep.
That made that bill.
And you guys saw how many people voted. I mean, I couldn't believe the numbers. Like I forget what it was, like 270 to like 20. It's like how are you guys? I mean, it just proves that they're just working together. You know what I mean? Like meaning the left, the right. They're just putting on a facade for the rest of the American people, but really they're all in this clique together, and they get paid or whatever the case is to vote this way or do this. And yeah, look, they really are the same. You got two different, exactly how you guys say it always, two different wings of the same bird, and it's a shit bird in my opinion. Totally bummer.
Yeah, it's gonna get it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Facts.
Like
scary times.
Now they're also talking about doing the same thing up in Canada too. So somebody get an idea, talking about, yeah, we're gonna just go to Canada. Wrong. They're gonna do it there too. And actually in Canada,
all those people that say, oh, we're gonna go to Canada if this happens, they never end up doing it anyways. You know what I mean? So it's like
right. So actually in Canada though, you probably really don't want to go there either, because they're imposing 23% tax. What is it, a carbon tax? 23% tax. Now you got people over there that they actually have videos out of people in Canada that was dumpster diving and was showing people how to prepare the food that was in the dumpster that they found.
Oh wow!
But you putting 23% tax, talking about that you doing your share for clean energy and stopping carbon from messing up the ozone layer and all that. Okay, that's fair and good, but considering the fact that Canada only produces like 1% of the carbon.
I would imagine that they don't produce much at all compared
1%.
to the United States. I mean, the United States, dude, I can only imagine just Los Angeles alone probably creates the same amount, if not more, carbon footprint than all of Canada. You know what I mean? Like that. Let's be real.
Yeah. I mean, Canada is literally 1%.
Right.
Now the U.S. is up there. China is the one that's leading everybody.
Yeah, China and India, it's got to both be.
Actually, it's just China by itself by a high margin.
Oh,
and the reason being is because they run a lot of those factories over there using coal.
Really?
So they're steady building these factories, but these factories are being ran by coal.
I did not know that.
Produces carbon.
Right.
Okay, so they're the biggest.
But to them, it's a cheap energy, and that's burning that is way worth it to them, and they don't care about no carbon footprint over there.
Right.
Yeah.
They're the biggest culprits.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they even have the U.S. beat in carbon emissions.
I believe it, especially with China. Yeah.
They're not even close to them, which is kind of unheard of, because a lot of people who live in these big cities, and you talk about the smog and all of that, you'd be like, man, ain't no way. Ain't no way China got more. They do. They really do. They really, really do.
This is a scary time that we live in, and it's like we can't like predict any of this shit. It's just happening and being just rolled out and implemented to us with nothing that the American people or anybody else can do.
Hmm.
Scary times, man.
You know what? I just found. I'm sitting while you was talking. I just found a little short one here that's talking about this 1% that I was talking about.
Let's run it.
Canada has a plan to save the planet from burning up, but there's a problem. See, Canada's emissions represents 1.5% of total global emissions. Canada's emissions represent 600 million tons of CO2. We're not even on this map. And take a look at China's growth. China is building 2 coal power plants every single week. So even if we eliminated Canada's carbon, China would make up the difference overnight. Canada also has the second largest forest on planet Earth. Are you telling me this forest doesn't absorb any carbon? On April 1st, the carbon tax is set to increase by 23%. But I am sure of it. If they collect a little bit more tax than us Canadians and make us all broke, we're going to be able to save the planet from burning up.
It's basic math, and we're going to continue to be there to support Canadians with the Canada Carbon Rebate.
It would be made up by China with overnight. Wow. You know, and yeah, I mean, you're making 2 coal factories per week. Dude, that's an insane amount. I mean, if we did even 2 a month here in the United States, people would be losing their shit.
Right.
Wow.
So if you're doing all that and you putting a 23% tax out, now they did say that there's something on there to where, you know, you pay this tax and then they give, you know, some of the money back. You know, you get like $200-$300 here and there or whatever. But this tax goes on everything. Okay, so imagine going to the grocery store, and you know how most states is 6% tax, 7% tax.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Okay. So imagine going to a grocery store and you paying 23% tax.
Oh no, that we're doing 23% is absolutely absurd. I mean, we're talking credit card numbers and shit. Huh.
Right. Now,
yeah, it's crazy.
Said, that's for everything. That's for gas. That's for heat.
Right. That's for everything across the board.
That's for the farmers. That's for the truck drivers. That's for everybody. 23%. You know what I mean? How could you live?
We barely can make it work now. You know what I mean? We're in a super fucked economy already, let alone you want to just jump that up to 23%. Dude, I don't know. Literally, it's kind of like the old bit of Cat Williams, like when you pull up to the gas pump, you know, like you have to decide, am I going to drive today or have I ate? You know what I mean? You've got to be making these life decisions at the fucking pump. It's ridiculous. And that's really where we're already at. We're already there, but yet now you want to put 23% tax on that shit? Unreal.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to see just how crazy it is, and if you know, and we just happen to have somebody on here who was like, "Oh man, it can't be that bad up there, man. They just don't want to."
Mm-hmm. Play it.
If you really think that? If you really honestly think that, watch this.
With the new carbon tax increase happening April 1st, we are evaluating some of our bills, and this is quite interesting. So if you look, we have a customer charge, what we're actually using, then we have a delivery charge, and then the federal carbon tax, which is more than the actual usage, and then the gas supply charge, which sounds very similar to the delivery charge, and then the costed adjustment, which is totaling $169 plus HST. So for gas used of $23, our bill is $191.96. And it is going to be going up. What is your take on the carbon tax? And do you think it should be cut? Or do you think that it's actually going to uses to save the environment?
No way.
You see
No
that?
way. For a $29,
bill.
yeah, like how do you go from like owing $29 and then like some of those charges were like $40 on the tax, the federal tax, which is more than double. It's like double the amount of what they actually used, and then it all comes out to $190 for a 23 or 20 whatever dollar amount. It's absurd. It's really
Right.
absurd.
Right. But they use this,
Scary.
like I said, they're using this and they're saying, well, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing on our part
Mm-hmm.
to cut down carbon emissions and to be able to do our share for the green initiative. Well, you see what that is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You also see that even by them doing that, you are only 1%, 1.5%.
Steve, I believe I pay only like $60 for gas per month. You know, it's about $60-70, something like that.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
You know, also we didn't talk about this. Now you know they're actually trying to, or they want to do away with single family homes and vehicles. So they won't like they don't want you to have nothing.
No, you're right.
No.
And by the way, and now I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was thinking of like the gas for my house. For actual, it's close to $6 a gallon. For your normal fuel for gasoline and stuff like that out here. So yeah, I think that's what you meant. My bad.
Yeah. Now y'all done paid that so long that now that y'all feel like pregnant.
Well, we've had to go up to damn near $7 before, and so like for us, being in the 5-6 range is not anything unheard of. We're actually like, oh, if it's at like the 5.5, range, we're like, oh, it's coming down. Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah. So this is the life that we're headed to.
How do you feel about all this? Like, what's your general consensus? Like, are you scared, or are you just going, you know what, like this is just the way it is, and we have to accept it now, kind of thing? Because this is all going to be implemented whether we like it or not. And of course, like if you have kids, like you got to think about like constantly the future. And this, to me, it's very scary, having all this happen within my lifetime alone, let alone my child's. This is wicked.
Right. Well, I'm just gonna say this. I'm not for it.
Of course not. Right.
You know what I mean? If it came from me having to do that, you know what I mean, I'm just gonna have to head for the hills.
Right.
I'm just not gonna do it.
Right. You're just gonna go into some mountain, or whatever, or some forest and totally be off the grid.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna do it. I mean, I'm not gonna do it for the simple fact that it would be stupid for me to do it knowing what it is.
Right. You know exactly what it is. You educated yourself on the topic, and for you to still continue through with it, that'd be insane.
Right.
But you're gonna lose your ability to get things so easily, stuff like that. But hey, you're like, I don't care about none of that. You know what I mean? Because that's exactly what they're selling is convenience.
I mean, like, why would I want to walk around on eggshells because I'm worried about a social credit score?
For real.
So, or me walking in the store and putting my palm over top of it to be able to buy something, or having, sitting here like a lab rat.
Mm-hmm.
Because like up in Wisconsin, remember back a couple of years ago up in Wisconsin when they had that factory, and everybody that worked in that factory, they all got those implants.
That's right.
Where You know, that's how they were able to move around the factory, how they was able to buy food.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
and all of that. You know what I mean? So, you know, they've been slowly bringing this stuff out for years. It just hasn't been mainstream.
Right.
You know, they put this little stuff out now. It's like, okay, it's voluntary. If you want to do it, you can do it. It's no big deal. You can do it. You know what I mean? It's not mandatory yet. You know, so right now it's all voluntary.
Yep.
You want to do it? You want to make your life easier? Go ahead.
Yeah, and what you think it'll be easier.
Right, right. Okay, do this. And then when all this other stuff roll in, you know, then people gonna want to say something about it. Then they want to be in a big uproar about it when it
Mhm.
all comes down. But when
When
you
it's
knew
too
about
late.
it ahead of time, you didn't do nothing.
Right. Yep.
So you sit there and waited for it to happen.
That happens all the time. I think that's for the majority of the American people how they react. As they're all, "Oh, okay, well, we're so gullible," and then when it's too late and they realize what the hell it actually is, they're going, "Oh, now we hate it." You know, it's like, well, why didn't you at least do some sort of research? But the thing is a lot of people just don't care.
Well, a lot of them don't care because at this particular time, it's not affecting them.
Right. That's exactly what I mean by that.
This is one of the big problems that we have here in the United States. There is no empathy here.
Right. You're
is
very
no
right about that.
And to a lot of people, there is no integrity either.
Mhm.
So on the empathy part, you know, the only thing that everybody, most of them, is worried about is themselves. And as long as it's not going on with them, then they're not too concerned with it. But then
Totally.
once it does fall into their lap, then they
How it
want
works.
everybody in the nation to rally up and we got to do this, you know. But you wait until it hits home first.
Yep.
Why does it got to hit home first before it recollects to you like, okay, something has to be done?
I
Why
don't
does it
know
gotta be
why.
doorstep?
I don't know why people can't look at and predict and go, you know what? I see this. I don't like it. I don't want that to happen to me. I know if we don't do anything about this or don't say anything about this, it's eventually going to affect my life. They know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time now. So it's really surprising to me that people don't go, you know what? I see this coming down the pipeline. We have to stop it. But for the general mass, people don't do that unless it affects them. Sad.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're in the day and age now. Like I said, we got the whole AI thing going on. Like I said, this is stuff that we've known.
Right.
We've known this for years. You know,
And apparently
so-
we've been doing it on our, immigrants for years as well. Had no idea about that,
Yeah, they've been doing that, but I'm just talking about, have you noticed that everything that we've seen in movies for the past 15, 20 years is now
It's all been
going on
predictions.
right
Yes,
now?
it was all predictions. They saw it.
You know, I even seen a documentary the other day where they actually have an avatar program where they have somebody actually sitting in a room with an implant on, being able to control a robot that was
No
somewhere
shit.
else. They actually have this stuff going on.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that.
a lot of these, it's crazy that a lot of these movies that you see or
Mhm.
have seen throughout the years, and it's showing different stuff. It's actually stuff that's going on right now.
Yep. Yep.
So you
Sad.
kind of had warning about this a while ago. You know what I mean? But like I said, we took it as though it was entertainment.
Totally.
And we went on. Just like when we was talking about that.
Oh, that'll
Obama
never
movie.
happen
Man,
in
he
our
didn't
life.
Right. Like he didn't just make that movie. He didn't make that movie just for the simple fact of making it, because it's so much other stuff that's involved with it. You have to actually watch that movie and know about certain stuff to even understand what that movie's even about.
Right.
They have a movie out right now called Civil War.
Yes.
watch that movie.
I heard about it, but I haven't watched it.
You need to watch that movie.
Okay.
Because a lot of stuff, like the stuff that we're talking about right now, some of this stuff is actually in this movie.
Wow. I'm going to watch it tonight. Civil
Yeah.
War, you said? Is that like on Netflix or something?
I watched it on the Fire Stick. I don't know exactly
I'll look it up.
because I think it's actually in the theaters right now. I watch it on Fire Stick.
Oh, okay. If it's in theaters, then maybe not. But let's see. Yeah, because it did come out 2024. It says Civil War platform.
Yeah. So basically, they try everything humanly possible that they're gonna try to do to take away privacy, add surveillance. That's what they're doing. I mean,
Scary times, dude.
right.
Scary freaking times.
You remember back in those old movies where you had like all the people that was complying to everything. And
Yes.
then you had the group of people that lived underground. And
Totally.
like nobody wanted to deal with the ones that was underground because
Mm-hmm.
they were supposed to be bad people, but these were the people that was like the resistance. Like they
Man,
were
that
not going
sounds
for what was going on.
that sounds
Exactly
like the
what we had.
Vegas. That sounds like the Vegas, tunnel people that have been interviewed down there underneath Vegas and stuff. It's almost kind of very similar to what you just described there. Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly what's
Yeah.
getting ready to go on. So
Scary times, man.
the only thing I can say is people, you really need to start paying attention to what's going on. Because like I said, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, they're not going to tell you about all this.
No, it's all
Now-
bought and paid for.
Now you may hear a little small little snippet there, but you're not going to hear it where they putting all these different countries in here and like, listen, it's not just going on here. It's going on here, going on here, going on here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's slowly coming in. Now we actually talked about this about a month and a half ago when I was talking about the social credit score and the 15-minute cities and all that. Remember, I was talking about all that stuff.
Yep. You sure did.
And during that time, when nobody saying a word about none of this stuff going on.
You
That
were
was
you
just
were ahead of the
2
game on
months
that.
ago. Now you see all this other stuff is coming to play.
Well, ever since that, I mean, the Restrict Act came into play since then. I mean, and all of this is just coming out. I mean, you definitely saw it before everyone else did too. But you were just paying attention to trends. You're paying attention to what's going on around you. You're being cognitive of what's happening. And that's what people need to do.
Everybody needs to do that.
Yes.
Everybody needs to just start paying attention.
Just start paying attention. Well said.
Don't let it to where it actually hit your home before you
Right.
acknowledge that this is.
And then all of a sudden you give a shit. Right.
Yeah. Because once you wait that long, it's too late.
Yes.
It's already too late at that point.
It's already going to be implemented, rolled out. Nothing you can do at that point. Yeah.
Exactly. So like I said, people need to wake up. People need to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of them times where you need to start reading between the lines.
Yes. Very much so.
And
Very
start
much
questioning everything. Question everything.
Yep. As you should.
I think that's probably one of my strong points because I question everything. You know what I mean? So I'll sit there and listen to what you're saying, and I'm sitting there and I'm processing everything that you're saying.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But this is how you get the truth is when you dig and ask questions like why is this? Why is that? Like you're thinking way more than just the you just telling me something and me taking it for face value. No, I'm gonna question everything. And that's a very good attribute you have.
Right.
You're always gonna boil down to the truth.
Yeah. I mean, now I'm not gonna sit there and just ask somebody 1,001 questions. I'm gonna let you tell me everything that you want to say. I'm gonna listen to everything that you're gonna say.
Yep.
And after I listen to it, I'm like, you done? Yeah. Okay. So why'd you lie?
Right. Why did you end up lying here and here? You didn't have to do none of that to kick it.
Here's where you lied at.
Yep. And you'll know it.
You was doing good until you got to right there. Then you start lying.
Yep. Well, that's what happens when they're up against a psychologist as well. You know what I mean? Someone that went to school for psychology. Yeah, it's your job to read and see that shit.
They don't actually teach you all that. A lot of that you learn.
You learn yourself. Yeah,
Learn from experience.
totally.
Learn from
It's experience totally based.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, people. So, like I said, we ain't gonna keep this running. I'm saying we've been going hour 20.
Yeah,
So
we had a great topic though to talk about and be able to I learned a lot this episode alone. You know what I mean? I'm not as aware of things as you are, and I always love doing these shows with you to gain more and more knowledge. It's actually one of my favorite things out here that I do content wise. And since we're on, the tail end here, I do want to, for everybody that's here, I want to thank every single one of you guys for being here. Your guys' engagement, the likes is like handing a content creator $5 cash. I swear it's the biggest metric on YouTube. So please make sure you guys are doing that, commenting on the videos, sharing it. That's obviously immense. That's like word of mouth on the street, but on the internet. And also, guys, make sure you guys are following Archbishop on, his Instagram, his Facebook. It's all right down here right now, scrolling across the bottom. His TikTok is there, even though our TikTok is going to be gone here in like less than 80 days now. But he's also got a Cash App if you guys want to help out monetarily, $Bishop8752. And then, as you guys know, of course, I'm demonetized on my side until July 3rd of 2024. And that's still not even a promise. That's for me to reapply for the partnership program. So if you guys want to help out in that regard, we've got a Cash App, $Ball Valve, Venmo @Ball Valve. And we now have a PayPal, ballvalvetv@gmail.com. And seriously, I cannot thank each and every single one of you guys enough for hanging with us. And thank you, Archbishop, for being able to put out this amazing information. You do a lot of freaking research on this shit, and then you get all the videos prepared. I mean, it's a huge ordeal. And you actually did the thumbnail. I got to give a huge round of applause on the badass thumbnail.
Yeah, we've been keeping this pushing, man. We got to keep this train going.
That's right.
I was talking to a lady in Georgia the other day. And she was saying that with a lot of YouTube, that a lot of people really don't go on here actually telling exactly what's going on out here.
You're right.
They're too busy worried about, the movie stars and who doing what.
And also them worrying about if they say this, then they're going to get demonetized. So that now they're holding their tongue, and that's a way of controlling, people's speech.
Yeah. But like I said, look at what they're doing now. Because I'm gonna tell you, if they're already doing what they're doing now with the going through watching you on the cameras and all that stuff, then they gonna slowly try to take your privacy over on this end to monitor what you say, what you don't say, and all this other stuff. There's gonna come a point in time that this is gonna be a thing of the past. You're not going to be able to sit here and have this conversation and put the truth out there.
Yep. It's for a very short time.
Right. Because they don't want that. They don't want somebody out there.
We're liabilities to these people.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying there's no point in me even trying that, because I know they're going to scam me, because they're going to be like, oh, it's going to be, as soon as they run through, it ain't even going to be a calculation. Just
no,
say, hell no.
And they'll know exactly all the things you've already said. You know what I mean? And everything that we've said has been against their narrative. So they're going to put us on the social score of 0. You know what I mean?
Negative.
Yeah, we're going negative. We're going negative here. Yeah.
It's going to be like, they're going to be like negative. Nah.
Yeah. Yep.
Ain't even trying. But to everybody's watching, like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you to come out every week. All of you to come on here and chat and hit the like button. Like I said, those of you that have not hit that like button, hit the like button before you leave. The comments, I'm looking at the comment number here. We're like almost 600 comments tonight.
That's a fat one.
That's wonderful. You know,
yes, it is.
So, to everybody that's watching, like, follow, share, subscribe to the channel. Let your friends know. Come on here and watch these videos. Pay attention.
Right. Learn something.
You know,
and it's, the way that you put it, it's extremely interesting, fun. I love the way that you present everything. And shoot, man, we always have great conversations regarding it, whatever we're talking about. So incredible, man.
But until next week, like I said, next week I'll hit you with something else. Oh, and let me see, not next week, but the week after, we're gonna have another special guest on. She used to be the commissioner in Georgia. It's a whole thing going on with that.
Wow.
I'll explain more to you about it next week. But yeah, me and her was on the phone the other day for like 2 hours.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, she is a very knowledgeable and well-spoken woman. And she's gonna be on here telling the story as to a lot of things dealing with this voting.
Wow.
Stuff like that, because she was one of the ones, like I said, she was a county commissioner, and she was one of these ones that was out there trying to push these people to get out there and vote, register, and all that.
Right. And in person.
Right. And they try to railroad her.
Well, this is a big deal for her to come out and speak on a public platform like this.
Yeah, so
that's huge.
So she's going to come not next week, but the week after on the 15th. She's going to grace us with her presence, and we're going to have a sit down interview with her.
We'll learn a lot from that. Yeah. That's going to be awesome. I look forward to it very much.
So I guess I'm going to see everybody in 7 days, God willing. So, So on behalf of me, Archbishop Mike Ball, we'll catch you in 7 days.
That's right. Much love and respect to everybody. Hopefully everyone has a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever the hell you guys are from. Much love and respect to everybody. And we will see you guys in 7 days. Peace out.
One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free, then let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free, mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads, feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They're telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them take some chains off me and throw